Look, I know nobody watches baseball. I get that. Trust me. I'm the last person you need to tell that to because I've pumped out about 3 baseball videos at this point, one of them being college baseball related, and all of them have flopped. I'm talking less than 50 views. But I don't really care, so you're getting more baseball content. Anyway, let's get to the point of this video. If you don't know by now, superstar Washington National Juan Soto has been in some controversy as of late after news broke in mid-July that he turned down a contract worth $440 million for 15 years offered to him by the Nationals, which absolutely makes sense. Like, sure, it's $440 million, but remember, it's 15 years long. Like, the average annual salary for Soto would be around 29 mil a year, which, don't get me wrong, is a lot for the average person, but he's a superstar in his prime, and by 2037 he's going to be severely underpaid. Look, if you don't believe me, then let's compare today's biggest contracts to the ones of 2007. Let's see how much a player's worth can change in a matter of 15 years. Okay, back in 2007, the annual salary leader in the league was Jason Giambi, who was making around $23 million a year. But in today's game, he'd barely rank in the top 20. So while up front the deal looked nice, once you start to look into the details of it, it becomes fairly obvious as to why a man in his position would turn the deal down. And it's not unlike of Soto to turn down massive contracts, because what many people seem to forget is the fact that Soto also turned down a 13-year, $350 million deal all the way back in February. And with all of this rejection the Nationals have taken in the last year, it makes sense as to why they would start acting petty towards Juan Soto. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, then let me fill you in on the All-Star Weekend drama. So, a few weeks ago at this point, the MLB held their annual All-Star game, and one of the lucky players selected to the game was Juan Soto. And not only that, but Soto was the only National selected, and he'd be participating in the Home Run Derby. Anyway, most teams decided to charter a plane for the players heading to Los Angeles for the All-Star game, but there were 2 exceptions to this statement. One being the aforementioned Juan Soto, whose team was unwilling to charter the flight for him, probably mainly due to the fact that he rejected their contract offer, and the other person being starting pitcher Paul Blackburn of the Oakland Athletics. But that was to be expected since the A's are notorious for being a cheap organization, especially under owner John Fisher, who should have sold the team by now because dude just traded his best players instead of offering them contracts like they deserve, such as like Matt Chapman or Olsen. Okay, that's enough. Let's just get back to the Soto situation. But before we do that, how about taking a quick moment to like the video and subscribe to the channel, because it really helps with growth. Alright, anyway, let's actually get back to it. Where was I? Oh, that's right. The Nationals are an organization full of petty people in high places who have enough money to offer $400 million contracts, but not offer to charter flights for players? Anyway, Soto and the Nationals' relationship only continued to get worse, because it's rumored that Soto was pissed that the Nationals decided to leak contract negotiations, which was dumb on the Nationals' part. Plus, Soto had been reportedly feeling uncomfortable with the team since they've gone back and forth on whether he's tradable or not. And that's where we are at right now, with Soto on the verge of inevitably being traded. And so I just want to talk about a few trade options for the superstar. Let's just get the obvious juggernaut option out of the way in the Los Angeles Dodgers, who have more than enough assets to clearly be able to make a move for the Soto the superstar. In the Dodgers deal, I could see them trading catcher Diego Cartaya, pitchers Bobby Miller and Dustin May, Double-A outfielder Andy Pages, and second baseman Gavin Lux for Juan Soto. And I know this sounds like a lot, but you have to understand that you're getting a 23-year-old all-star in Juan Soto who's still under contract for multiple seasons. And this is such a good deal for the Nationals because Lux and May can make an impact almost instantly on the field while receiving 3 out of the 4 best prospects in the Dodgers organization. And that's not even mentioning the fact that Bobby Miller is on the verge of reaching the majors since he can sit at 97, 98 miles per hour for innings at a time and reach triple digits with his riding four-seam fastball. Now, the potential for these guys is through the roof. But let's move on to the second option here for Soto, which would be the San Diego Padres, where on one end, the Padres would send shortstop Jake Cronenworth and CJ Abrams and team's top prospect and outfielder Robert Hassel, along with Major Leaguer Mackenzie Gore. And I know it sounds like a lot, and it would hurt to lose all of these potential stars, but you have to think about the possibility of the team having a big three in Machado, Tatis, and Soto at the end of the day. I mean, talk about deadly. And yeah, those are just like 2 of the top teams I could see in consideration for Soto. And shout out to Demetrius Bell from SB Nation for some of the trade ideas. Oh, and you may be wondering, why didn't he talk about the Yankees as one of the possible trade destinations for Soto? Well, if you don't know by now, it's because while in the making of this video, apparently the Yankees went out and got Andrew Benintendi out of nowhere for like 3 minor league pitchers. So that kind of takes them out of the whole sweepstakes. I don't know if they're willing to go even more into their depth and pull out more minor leaguers. So I think it's pretty safe to rule him out for now when it comes to the Juan Soto sweepstakes. Anyway, that's all for the video. Deuces.